Hey Cowboys Nation! Today we are diving deep into all the latest developments surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. And there is certainly a mix of good and bad news for fans to unpack. Let's start on the challenging side, because it seems like sometimes for every step forward, there is a step back, and that's exactly what is happening right now. Juan Thomas has been placed on the reserve non-football illness list, which appears to be connected to the migraines he has been dealing with. Now, anyone who has ever suffered through migraines knows exactly how debilitating they can be, and the fact that these have persisted long enough to require this type of roster move is concerning. Thomas was able to make a return to the field recently, and for a while, it seemed like he might be getting back to his rhythm. But now this development throws a bit of uncertainty into the Cowboys' plans. While there is some reassurance in the statement he shared on social media, showing a positive attitude despite the setback, it remains a notable loss for the team. He had stepped into a starting role, and although his performance might not have been flawless, the broader challenges within the Cowboys' safety room were apparent even before this moment. And losing a player who had become a key contributor during a time of injuries in the backfield is far from ideal. The safety position has been thin all season, and now with Thomas temporarily sidelined, the Cowboys will need to rely on the depth they have and hope other players can rise to the occasion. Don Wilson is expected back soon, which is encouraging, but questions remain about Elijah Clark and whether the team might need to explore further options to stabilize that part of the roster. Meanwhile, other defensive players like Maris Bell and Reddy Stewart provide some flexibility, but the depth chart is clearly stretched, and the team will need to navigate these challenges carefully in the weeks ahead. Shifting to more positive news, there are some developments that bring a lot of excitement to the Cowboys fan base. Demarion Overshown is set to return after being activated from the physically unable to perform list. Overshown has shown flashes of brilliance in his limited time on the field during the previous seasons, and his impact on the defense has been significant whenever he has played. The Cowboys are hopeful that the returning version of Overshown can contribute immediately, though it's wise to temper expectations slightly, given that players returning from injury often need time to regain full form. Overshown's versatility is particularly valuable, whether he is deployed as an off-ball linebacker with opportunities to blitz or incorporated creatively into various defensive schemes. The coaching staff has some interesting options for how to utilize him, including potentially pairing him with Logan Wilson, using him in different formations, and strategically managing his snap count to ensure his long-term health while still maximizing his on-field impact. Fans will undoubtedly be watching closely to see how Overshown reintegrates into the lineup, and even in a limited capacity initially, his presence is a boost to a defense that has needed every advantage it can get this season. At the same time, Savone Revel is also joining the team in a new capacity, marking his first opportunity to play as an official member of the Dallas Cowboys organization. Revel had previously been on the non-foot injury list, which is a designation that applies to injuries sustained before joining the NFL, creating a somewhat complex situation in terms of roster management. Now that he is available, the team has an additional option at cornerback, and Revel brings athleticism, length, and ball skills that fit the profile of an outside corner that many coaches covet. His long-term potential is exciting, even if his immediate impact is slightly tempered by the need to integrate him into the system and ensure he is fully prepared for game action. With Overshown returning and Revel stepping onto the field, the Cowboys suddenly have a number of roster pieces that can be utilized creatively, whether it's rotating players, managing snap counts, or trying different combinations and defensive alignments. The coaching staff faces interesting strategic decisions, particularly around how to balance playing time and development for newer players like Revel, while still relying on the proven contributions of someone like Overshown. Meanwhile, the cornerback group itself now features significant depth. Alongside Revel, the Cowboys have Kalen Carson, Triquiz Bridges, Don Blank, Kyer Elam, and Reddy Stewart, giving them 6 viable options at the position, not including additional players who could be called upon if needed. This depth allows for more strategic flexibility, particularly when thinking about matchups, third down packages, and potential rotations to keep players fresh and healthy throughout the season. The return of these players is particularly noteworthy given the injuries and absences that have challenged the roster in recent weeks. Managing health and snap counts will likely be a critical focus, especially with newer players getting their first substantial game experience. This is not just about the immediate impact for the remainder of the current season, but also about laying the groundwork for the future, ensuring that younger players gain experience and confidence while contributing meaningfully whenever possible. The balance between player development and immediate team needs will be an ongoing storyline as the Cowboys navigate these roster changes. In addition to these returns, there's been some movement on the practice squad as well. John Christian was signed by the Broncos from the Cowboys practice squad, which is a minor loss in terms of immediate depth, but not unexpected given his role. This leaves Wesley French as the sole remaining offensive lineman on the practice squad, which could prompt additional roster moves to maintain emergency depth. The Cowboys' roster management throughout the season has required a careful juggling act, balancing injuries, player development, and strategic needs, and this latest series of transactions and returns is another example of the challenges they face in maintaining competitiveness week after week. With all of these pieces moving in and out, the coaching staff has to be deliberate in how they deploy personnel in games, particularly when dealing with key positions like safety and cornerback that have been impacted by injuries. The broader context here is that the Cowboys are showing resilience, both in terms of the players returning from injury and the team's ability to adapt to setbacks. While the loss of Thomas is unfortunate and creates immediate questions about depth and rotation at safety, the returns of Overshown and Revel bring significant upside, particularly if the team is patient in integrating them and manages their workloads carefully. Fans should be watching not only for the immediate contributions these players can make, but also for how the coaching staff leverages their skill sets over time. Overshown's potential as a versatile defensive playmaker, combined with Revel's athletic traits and length as a cornerback, creates opportunities to adjust schemes, experiment with personnel groupings, and even potentially develop new approaches to matchups in upcoming games. The dynamic nature of the roster at this point in the season is a reminder that the Cowboys are constantly adapting, looking to maximize the impact of every available player while keeping long-term development in mind. As we look ahead, the strategy around how to use Overshown and Revel will be fascinating. Overshown, given his experience and previous performance, may see immediate snaps in critical situations, especially in off-ball linebacker roles or in blitz packages. Revel, on the other hand, might initially be managed more conservatively in terms of snap counts to ensure he is eased into the flow of the game while still contributing meaningfully in rotation packages and situational plays. The coaching staff has a variety of tools at their disposal, from rotating players in a five-man front to experimenting with different defensive looks, and the versatility of these returning players enhances their options significantly. The balance between immediate performance and player development will be key, and fans can expect to see thoughtful deployment of these athletes as the team navigates upcoming matchups. All of this points to a Cowboys roster that is managing a delicate balance of injuries, returns, and depth, highlighting the importance of strategic planning in the modern NFL. The interplay between health management, positional depth, and maximizing player potential will continue to be a central storyline for the team as they move forward. The return of high-impact players like Overshown and the integration of new talent like Revel illustrate how the Cowboys are constantly evolving, leveraging opportunities to strengthen both their current roster and future potential. Even with setbacks like the temporary loss of Thomas, the overall narrative is one of adaptation, strategic flexibility, and anticipation for how these pieces will come together on the field in the weeks ahead. The fans are left watching closely, analyzing each roster move, and considering the impact of these players as the season progresses, knowing that every decision could influence the trajectory of the team. Now, shifting focus a bit, there's plenty to discuss when it comes to how these roster changes could influence the Cowboys' defensive strategy moving forward. With Juan Thomas on the non-football illness list, the safety position has become a puzzle the coaching staff will need to solve quickly. Reddy Stewart, who has been the emergency safety in past weeks, will likely see increased reps, and this could be a pivotal moment for him to prove his ability to handle more consistent responsibilities. The depth chart is stretched, and every snap will matter, not just for immediate results, but also in shaping the confidence and chemistry of the defensive backfield. When you factor in the returns of Overshown and Revel, the potential for creative defensive schemes becomes very intriguing. Overshown's versatility allows him to slide into multiple roles, whether it's as an off-ball linebacker, in blitz situations, or even providing coverage in unexpected spots. This flexibility gives the Cowboys a chance to experiment with different looks, potentially confusing opponents who may not have scouted him in every role he can now occupy. Savone Revel, though new to the team, brings a different kind of excitement. His length, athleticism, and ball skills make him a prototypical outside corner, and integrating him alongside players like Kalen Carson and Trikweze Bridges could provide stability and depth that the Cowboys have sorely needed. Revel's presence opens the door for more situational rotations, allowing the coaching staff to rest key veterans while still maintaining competitive coverage. It also creates the possibility for specific matchups where the Cowboys can strategically deploy certain players against the opponent's most dangerous receivers. Even if Revel doesn't immediately become a star contributor, the long-term upside is undeniable. By carefully managing his snap count and gradually introducing him to more complex schemes, the team ensures that he can grow into a significant role without rushing his development. Meanwhile, Don Wilson's anticipated return adds another layer of optimism to the safety room. Pairing him with Overshown could reestablish a sense of stability, particularly in the box and in coverage rotations. The combination of returning veterans and emerging talent provides the Cowboys with multiple options for constructing defensive packages, whether it's standard formations or creative adjustments designed to exploit opponent weaknesses. The coaching staff's challenge will be to balance immediate performance needs with the long-term development of younger players, and the upcoming weeks will provide a window into how well they can navigate that balance. This situation also emphasizes the importance of adaptability. Injuries and absences have forced the team to rely on depth players more than anticipated, and these experiences can pay dividends down the line as younger athletes gain valuable game experience. On the offensive side, while the primary narrative has been centered around defensive roster adjustments, these changes indirectly impact the entire team dynamic. Defensive stability allows the offense to operate with more confidence, knowing that there is a reliable structure on the other side of the ball. Overshown's potential impact in disrupting opposing plays, combined with Revel's coverage abilities, could reduce the pressure on the offense in crucial situations. For example, better coverage and smarter defensive rotations could limit third-and-long conversions for opponents, giving the Cowboys' offense more favorable field position and opportunities to execute their game plan. Depth in the defensive backfield also provides the coaching staff with flexibility in clock management and situational play calling, knowing that they have athletes capable of handling critical moments. This interconnectedness between offense and defense highlights how roster moves in one area ripple across the entire team structure, affecting strategy, morale, and execution on game day. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what's quickly becoming the talk of the NFL rumor mill, whispers coming out of Philadelphia suggest that Eagles general manager Howie Roseman has launched a fiery tirade aimed squarely at the Dallas Cowboys, and the fallout could be massive. According to multiple unnamed sources close to the organization, Roseman didn't hold back when discussing his team's biggest rival, allegedly accusing the Cowboys' front office of hypocrisy, media manipulation, and even manufacturing hype instead of results. The comments, reportedly made behind closed doors but somehow leaked to insiders, have already set social media ablaze. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting every word, wondering what might have triggered such an unfiltered outburst. Some speculate that the tension stems from recent player negotiations or draft-related moves that put both franchises in direct competition. Others believe Roseman's remarks reflect deeper frustrations about how the Cowboys are portrayed by national outlets compared to the Eagles. One source described the outburst as classic Howie, calculated emotion, suggesting that while the words sounded explosive, they may have been strategically delivered to fire up his locker room and remind players of who the enemy is. Still, the accusations are said to include pointed references to Dallas's show-first, substance-later culture, its ownership's obsession with headlines, and an overall lack of football integrity. The Cowboys camp has so far remained silent, though insiders claim the comments did not go unnoticed in Arlington. If true, this could add yet another layer of heat to one of the NFL's most storied rivalries, one that rarely needs extra fuel. Whether this was an intentional leak, a private moment gone public, or simply exaggerated locker room gossip, one thing's for sure. Howie Roseman's alleged words have reignited the eternal fire between Philadelphia and Dallas. And in the NFL, rumors like this don't just fade away. They tend to explode on the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.